Welcome to another exciting episode of From Stuck to Limitless, the show where we bring you fire starters and change makers with tips and insights to uplevel your life. From Stuck to Limitless. I am your host, Marie McKenzie. This evening, we have two phenomenal young men, Alex and AJ, phenomenal teens, radio show hosts, high school and junior high school students making an impact in their community and I'm sure on the world. Alex and AJ, over to you. Tell us about yourself.
Hello. Thank you for the introduction. But yes, I am an 11th grade high schooler. I go to eSTEM High School, and I host the radio every other Saturday at Central Time. Is that what? Yeah, okay, 12 p.m. Central Time. All the CST, PST, it always gets confused.
And you are?
I'm Alex. I'm in the ninth grade. I go to Eastern Junior High School. And I host a radio show with my brother.
And he's our resident comedian as well.
He's your resident comedian. And what's the name of your radio show? And tell us about it. What
Left out the most
topics
important
you
part.
talk about?
All right, well, our radio show is called Teens Talk True, where we discuss hot topics affecting teens in our society today. And we mainly, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, we have various guests on every other week, and we let the conversation flow from there.
Okay. Awesome. So we're going to let the conversation flow today. And one of the first things I want to talk about is violence in school. There is so much school shooting, bullying. How are you coping? And what advice can you give some who are not coping so well?
Okay. Anyway, so coping with violence in school, for me, I don't know how to put it, but like, it's hard to put in words because, all right, well, let me start with this. First off, advice for coping. Don't keep it all in, right? Don't like shut yourself off from it. It's a real thing that's happening and people need to know about it. So that's advice. Right. But for me as coping, I would say, because I'm really bad at taking my own advice. So I really don't, share as much, but I kind of internalize things, and it's just really hard to put it. I don't really.
What are some of the things you do to cope?
Well, mainly I reflect a lot, thinking about how the situation happened, how it could have been avoided, what measures could I have taken, if any, to de-escalate the situation or to, kind of stop the situation from happening overall. And sometimes when I really dive deep into it, it's like, well, there's not much I can do about it. But I guess one thing I could do, like, if it was to happen in spite of everything I would do, is just, kind of warn people, like the people going there, obviously, like my friends and everything, try to alert the school, obviously, and
right,
hopefully get the situation stopped before it ever occurs.
Alex?
Well, I mean, coping is easier for some than it is for others. Like, if it's hard, then just go to a school that has a very good record of like not getting shot up. Something like that. But Like a lot of the time with like violence and stuff, like if somebody gets smacked at school, we just laugh it off and we move on. Like it's not that difficult. But that's all the advice I have really.
Yeah.
What do you mean last week?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So last week my school almost got shot up because
Ooh.
yeah, it almost got shot up. So he broke the glass or something, but the police showed up and I didn't even know what it was, so I just laughed it off. I like it was near my classroom, but I had headphones on, so I didn't really hear anything. And I just laughed it off because he wasn't there, and there are a lot of school shooter jokes that my friends make, and so I just laughed it off.
I think part of the reason for that is that like we've kind of desensitized ourselves to it so much that it's like, well, what else are we're not gonna sit here and cry about it, because if we do that, then we'll be made fun of, right? And then it's like, well, I mean, crying about it isn't gonna help, then might as well turn it into one big joke, laugh the pain away, you know.
Anyway. Wow. Have you ever been involved in a situation where you observe someone, not necessarily a friend, being bullied or hurt, and you had to intervene, or did you intervene, or
Well, bullying, that's another interesting thing. Because we've also changed how I won't say the definition, but we changed kind of necessarily what bullying would look like, right? Because I mean, nowadays you have kids going around roasting each other, cracking jokes. Like some people, well, I'm gonna say this now, don't be offended, please. Back in the day, that would probably be considered bullying, all the yo mama jokes and other somewhat harmful sayings and stuff. But today in schools now, it's not really considered bullying, right? So bullying, I feel like it kind of had to, like okay, let me start with this. We all know that bullying is like the textbook definition is like the repeated act of something, right? Well, what? What? Nah, what?
Nah, keep going.
Okay. Well, it's the repeated act of something, right? You laughing and it makes me
Keep going.
okay.
Going.
So in my mind, that would be like, if I came to school every day and called you, well, I'm not gonna say that, but this didn't call you by your name, that technically would be considered bullying. But this day and age, it'd be like, oh, he's just playing, like I want to say we kind of desensitize ourselves to bullying as well, but that's just one of those things where it's kind of hard to recognize, right? Y'all look like y'all got something to say, like I'm saying something wrong. I'm confused.
I don't think you said anything wrong. I think it's different for every generation. Every generation has their own experiences. I was a kid who was bullied every day, so it was a repeated act. They did something different every day, but they were mean to me every day. Whereas your experience is different, and your friends are, just being friends.
Well, I will tell you about one experience where I'll say this. I was bullied in like, what was it, the seventh grade? Yeah, I was seventh grade. It was my math class. We had different teachers, and this one teacher, it wasn't his fault. Like he didn't do anything, but for whatever reason, the people who sat around me felt like they could get away with, a whole bunch of stuff. And so they'd like every single day they came in, they would throw paper at the teacher and then they blame it on me. Right. And then he'd look over and he'd be like, and he looked dead at me. I'm like, it was not me. It was not me. I cannot prove it to you that it was not me. I have no physical evidence, but all you know is that it was not me. So please just look anywhere else. Cause that gaze, it was like, you're in trouble. I'm like, no. But that would happen every single day, right? And I wouldn't really say anything. But one day, as mothers have this power, I get in the car. She asked me how was that my day. I'm like, good. And she's like, oh no, what happened? I'm like, nothing. And she's like, what happened? And I'm like, don't look at me like that. Because I now have to tell you, even though I don't want to. I was like, these kids, they made me mad today. Or, they just got on my nerves. And then she's like, what is it? They were throwing this, paper and stuff at the teacher and blaming it on me. And I eventually started out bawling and everything. And then she's like, well, are these kids bullying you? I'm like, no, they not doing that. Cause if you tell them they're bullying, then what adults want you to do is they want you to, tell the teacher, administrator, something like that, and then they'll get it handled. Well, but that don't always work. Sometimes they tell you to do that, but then, that bully get off whatever punishment they had and then bully you, worse than you had it before. So it's like, I don't really want to tell you because I don't want to have it worse than I already do. And then, but I did because my mom was, she
The mama bear came out.
She knew I wasn't gonna do it, so she did it herself, which resulted in like 7 calls to the office and repeated testimonies of what happened. Me trying to hold back tears. I'm like, please, because it happens in every movie. The bully gets stopped. The bully comes back stronger. It's common knowledge. But it's just one of those things that like nobody really wants to talk about. Like we know what to do, but we just have it in our minds that that's not really going to work, and so we kind of then change the definition to the point where it's like
it's got to be really bad.
It's got to be really bad before you talk to somebody,
Yeah. And bullying can be very harmful. There are many students who have committed suicide from being viciously bullied in school, whether it be by cyber or in person. So this is something we should not push under the rug. It's always important to tell an adult. So interventions can be put in place to prevent the bullying from going on. Your safety and that of others, is very important, and you can prevent further harm. What do you say, Alex?
I agree, mainly because I went through it. I've been getting bullied since like the 2nd grade, I believe. And why are you looking at me like that?
Because she didn't know. She didn't know. Yeah, she didn't tell it like herself.
But okay. So 2nd grade to 3rd grade, I got bullied, but that issue got solved because we switched schools, and then
not because of the bullying, but
yeah.
Continue.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because she first.
Why are you okay? So anyway, then there was this thing that happened a few weeks before spring break where this girl liked me, and I told the boys about it, and I told them how I didn't like her back, and they started calling me gay, which I'm not. But she already knows about that, so I don't know why she looking at me like that. But anyway, but the stuff that happened between the 2nd and the 3rd grade, that stuck with me for a while, and I was like really depressed, and I started acting happy around my friends and my parents because I didn't want them to worry about me, start asking me questions because of partially because of what AJ said earlier about all them calls and stuff, because I didn't want to deal with that. But recently I got past that, and now I'm working on myself, and I'm happier now, actually. So yeah.
Very, very good. Thank you so much for that. Now let's talk about social media. How many hours per day do you spend on social media? Is that a
Uh,
secret?
yeah, well, okay. I'll let him answer first because
Why?
your answer is shorter,
True.
significantly.
0 hours because I don't have a phone. But anyway,
Okay. So I'm sorry if it's gonna seem like I'm rambling here, but that's just how it gets processed. So every day I'd say I spend up to about it's way more than 8 hours. Because you got the look, you if you break it down, you got the 30 minutes at the beginning of every day. And let's say this is a school day now. Not on break, none of that. School day. First 30 minutes I'm awake. I'm playing music. Technically, that counts, right? On the ride on the car ride to school, about an hour 30 minutes, already up there. Then we got the time from where I'm in school to leaving school. Constantly on the phone. So let's see, that's about the first hour I'm there. Um, Second period, third period. It's more than 8 hours. I'm trying to calculate for it's actually get we can say give or take 12 hours. 12 hours, give or take two. Yeah.
So
It's a
I'm doing
lot.
the math,
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
unhealthy.
saying while you're in school. So if you're in social media while you're in school, when are you doing the schoolwork?
Okay, so
that's a very good
pause.
question.
So here's the thing. Hang on.
Show us something
Hang
in
on.
history.
Let me explain. Let me explain. So I have
Please.
4 AP classes, right? And then I have 3 normal classes and lunch, right? So first period, not on my phone because that's AP. Second period is not an AP, and we don't really do anything in there. So and the teacher doesn't care if we have on our phone. So I'm usually listening to music. Third period is lunch, whole hour on my phone. Fourth period, AP class, but sometimes we do get to listen to music when we, have a little test or not a test, but like when we're working on the thing after we do the video, right? So it's like 30 minutes, give or take, right? And then fifth period, we get to listen to music like the entire time, except for when they're teaching, right? So that's give or take 30 minutes. Sixth period, weightlifting or PE, whatever it is, that's the whole hour. Seventh period, AP. Eighth period, no headphones. And then after that, I stay at school some more for extracurricular, right? So that's give or take another hour. And then the car ride home, another hour. And then, so I'm doing schoolwork. I'm doing schoolwork. I'm not on my phone the entire time. I'm just it's sprinkled in there throughout the day. So it's give or take 12 hours.
But Alex
Well,
spends
plus
time on social media.
he doesn't have
I
a
know there are
phone.
a lot of distractions on social media these days for teens that I wasn't exposed to when I was a child. How do you keep grounded so you're not influenced by the negative things that you're exposed to on social media?
He doesn't.
That would be a short answer, but that long answer, which I'm sure we all are dying to hear at this point. So I wasn't allowed, we're not allowed to have a phone till we're 16, right? I'm 17 now. So I've had a phone for a year plus. So
Kudos,
prior to
mom.
yes, best mom award. And
Oh, good.
actually I would recommend that most children don't get a phone till they're like 13 or older, because when you're younger, right, you're like, oh, well, yeah, your entire childhood is in school, right, and you're around other kids, and that's when you really learn how to talk to people and hold conversations and everything like that, right? But if you've got a phone, right, you're not going to be sitting there paying attention to your friend. You're going to be on your phone on TikTok, YouTube, something like that. Be like, oh, look at this. Look who just made this on TikTok. Look at the,
Yes.
and then like the attention span's just out the window, very short, and you don't really develop any social skills. But since I wasn't allowed, all that till now, right, I've been able to build on those social skills. Attention spans way longer than it should be. Everything like that. So yes, there are distractions, but I feel like I'm able to handle them better because I'm more used to, being in real life, having real conversations and everything like that. I now
Wow.
that being
Awesome.
said, it still is a distraction, and um, yeah, no, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, it still is a little bit of a distraction, but sometimes taking a break does help. Not a long break because I mean I do need my music, but like a 30 minute break kind of helps.
Yeah. And music is therapy, depending on what you listen to.
Mhm.
I mean, and different people like different music.
Of
So
course.
music is part of my self-care. I
Mm.
listen to different music. So it's all depends. And I like that you say you talk about social skills,
Mhm.
limiting your time because even as adults, sometimes I'll be in a group and everybody's on their cell phone.
Mhm.
Even while we're
Mhm.
eating, the interaction is so limited because of this person's looking at their Facebook feed or their Instagram, and
Mhm.
they look up to say exactly what you said. Look who is on here. Look at this message I got.
Mhm.
So not just for teens, adults, that's important for adults as well.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
kudos to you.
Yeah.
And recommending teens do not get phones until they're old.
Okay, I say 13 because
Why one and
no, 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 no,
13?
no, 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 not just that, not just that, but like actually a lot of that. But 13 is kind of like when we start kind of with the extracurricular stuff, like when we start doing extra stuff at school, actually having friends that have phones so we can talk to them too. But 16 worked out great for me, so I'm not
Yeah.
really complaining. But 13 would be my recommendation, just so
Okay.
your child doesn't have to suffer 3 additional years. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Another topic I want to bring up. I know you guys are advanced, more advanced than a lot of teams. So one of the things I wanted to discuss is the effects of climate change on mental health, on teens' mental health in particular.
Mhm.
Can you shed some light into that?
In the winter, we're happier because there's snow. In the summer, we're not because it's hot.
Little comedian, she wants a
Yeah.
serious answer.
His answers are really short.
Yeah. I actually studies show that people are more depressed in the winter. But anyway, so climate change.
Studies right now.
No. But anyway, climate change is I want to say this is one of the kind of like most talked about issues amongst me and my friends because we're more geared towards looking in the future, right? So when we generally think about it, we don't really we kind of again we kind of desensitize ourselves to it a lot, so we kind of crack jokes and stuff about it. But when we really think about it, it's like, dang, our kids aren't going to know what a tiger is because they're going out of extinct. And, they might not know what grass looks like because, everything is going to be hot and humid. And, right, they're going to be like, Dad, what's grass? See, back in my day, it grew out of this here ground. You see this sand, this, yeah, it used to be dirt and grass came out of that. It was green, it's prickly. You touch it and go, ouch. It was wet in the mornings for no reason, even though it didn't rain. You're laying it and all these bugs and stuff creep all up on you, and hills and everything. But like we don't necessarily. I mean, we think about it as a negative thing, but we kind of view it as something that is kind of out of our power to change. I mean, we say our power now because we're teenagers and no one really listens to us. But I'm saying is like as of right now, we don't really have the necessary tools to make a big of an impact as we would need to, kind of what's the word? Not fix. Yeah. No, it's no. Yeah, turn around. That's better. because I mean it's gonna take I mean it's probably centuries to fix, even if we start now, but like, turnaround works better.
Yeah, we all can make our impact one little bit at a time. So it doesn't have to be like a giant leap, each
Of
little each little drop day by day cause significant changes, right?
Mm-hmm. But
Yes.
I think that would be like another thing. Like because we feel like we wouldn't make that big of an impact. Because we're all geared for the big things and not looking at the small little details. It's like, why would we even bother? Because if we can't make this big old fat change right now, as opposed to making this tiny little drop in the water, why would that even matter? I guess that's what I was saying. Yeah, sense of hopelessness. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. Think of like throwing a little pebble into the ocean and the ripple goes out. So, you can make an impact.
True.
One person at a time, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Tell us more about your Teen Talk radio show.
Ooh,
Who has
okay.
been your most impactful guest? If you want to
Interesting you say that. So I got two people in here right now that have been on the show. So we got good old mom right here and Miss McKinney. So man, it's actually kind of, you said most impactful.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to actually kind of put that on a scale because
Or your
you all
favorite guest.
our favorite. Also,
Yeah.
kind of hard to put on a scale. Not gonna lie.
One
Yeah.
off.
One
Let me
off.
not put you on the spot. One off your most favorite guest.
Okay. Well, if I had to make a tier list, let's see. I think you're gonna be mad at me on this one, but you would be first, and
I am?
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. I'd have to say yes because otherwise
And
it's gonna be me.
share why.
There you go.
Why was it the topics or?
I'd say personality.
Oh, thank you.
But in all seriousness, I don't think I really could pick a favorite or say that there's been one that's most impactful because, well, I don't really do favorites. Not gonna lie, because I mean, everybody helps in their own way, right? And it's really all about who's listening and who's actually receiving the message that you're giving to all the people who actually watch, right? So saying there's one that's been most impactful, that not really accurate. Right. It's all about the time and the place.
That's an amazing answer. That's an amazing, because each person bring their own value to the program. Yes,
Right.
that's awesome.
Mhm.
What is one thing you want to leave our listeners with?
Leave the listeners with so many things, but I guess don't that's a really strong word, but I guess try to steer away from desensitizing yourself to these really big issues, because we all hear about bullying, we all hear about people being depressed because of social media and climate change, and we all think of it as like it's not really that big, but it is, right? So not to what don't desensitize. The D's are just getting mixed up all everywhere. Yeah, don't desensitize yourself to a lot of situations, because speaking out will help, and there is something that you can do, no matter how small.
Exactly. Alex?
Are you?
Mr. Canadian.
What he said?
No. No. But what you say though?
What you mean? What I say?
No, yeah, you didn't answer that either.
What you mean?
You didn't answer who's your favorite guest. Who your favorite guest?
Cause she moved on.
Well, no, let's rewind.
Let's
Alex?
not.
What's your favorite?
Let's-
What's your favorite?
It's your turn, Alex.
My
Do you have
mama.
a favorite guest?
My mama, I guess, because she brought me in this world. She got the power to take me out.
So are you saying that out of fear?
A little bit.
Oh my Lord. You guys are amazing. What keeps you grounded or who? Oh,
Because you
did
literally whoop us and ground us after.
I don't mean the punishment grounded.
Well, if not the punishment, then I guess it still would be our mom because, mom and dad have been the ones that teach us everything we know, and they've been with us the entire time. So it's, I mean, you say who keeps us grounded the most? It's like, well, I don't know who else would like. Who else would kind of care that much? Well,
Right.
but then you got God, and it's like, of course, but so I was you. Let me guess. You gonna say what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, your honest answer.
Yes, my mom.
Okay, I'm just why.
Fast forward.
I didn't hear that.
He said fast forward. He tried to pull a little comedian.
Because of what you said, AJ. Are you happy?
No, you like legit.
Yeah, happy.
Your reasons are different from mine. Answer.
You got a lot to be smiling for.
Oh my gosh, that is a song.
It is.
Okay,
Oh.
Alex and AJ. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And where can our listeners tune into your show?
All right, StudioWBuzz.com. Yeah, archive. It is archived, right? Yeah, I got it right. So there's a little tab, archive shows, and you can scroll down. I think we're like what 17th on there. I haven't looked recently, but yeah, I think we're like the 17th, 15th button on there, and you click that, and you can see all our past shows, and you can even tune in live to listen to our what is it? Current shows. There you go. And then we're also on iTunes and 12 p.m. Central Time. Yes. Okay.
Which days?
Which the I'm sorry. Saturdays. Just like I
12.
forgot.
StudioW Buzz, 12 p.m. Centrals on Saturdays. Thank you, AJ and Alex and Mom Ann for being here today
You're welcome.
to make our show amazing from stuck to limitless. And listeners, you hear it here. Fire starters and change makers don't have to be adults. We have amazing youngsters making a significant impact in the world. Alex and AJ addressed climate change, bullying, violence in schools. So no matter how old you are, you can make a difference. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time on another episode of From Stuck to Limitless. I am your host, Marie McKenzie. Have a great evening. Thank you, Alex and AJ and Mom Ann.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Thank you.